I'm Roy Potter, a former U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel. Welcome to the Potter Expositor. Hi ladies and gentlemen, today is February 19th, 2018, and it's President's Day. This won't be a long recording because I just want to get out some information very quickly. First of all, I want to tell you that this whole thing with Mueller and the information that it has absolved President Trump of any accusations of collusion in the Russian situation, I want to caution you about what's happening here. First of all, of course, that is the case, that it should absolve him. But the fact of the matter is that the deep state isn't giving up on that still. CBS came out and said that we're still at the beginning or early stages of the Russian investigation. Really? After this much time? And then the entire thing with going after these supposed Russians for interfering in the election is a joke, and most anybody who looks at that should understand it. Really what that can do is be turned against anybody, even in this country, who dissents, has political discourse, wants to hold public servants accountable, throw people out of office, referendums. I mean, this has some very far-reaching consequences. And so, again, while some people might be saying, see, Mueller's he's really helping Trump, he's actually, come back and absolve Trump of these things, I'm going to urge caution here, okay? Now, I'm a little under the weather today, but I just had to make this video. Following up on that, we see how the FBI is so concerned about going after retired generals, doing parallel construction, framing them basically, going after ranchers, going after farmers, hiding evidence of guilt that would be used to indict Hillary Clinton, Harry Reid, etc., hiding that evidence, but going after Americans, regular everyday Americans, ranchers, etc., just trying to conduct their business in the American way and live life and pursue happiness. So the FBI is as I've been saying for so long, is a corrupt criminal protection agency, organized crime, to protect the elites that they serve, not the American people. It's time to disband the FBI. You've heard me say that before. We keep hearing this trust Sessions, trust Wray, etc. Well, there's nothing to base that on but words. Actions speak louder than words. And at this point in time, with everything that's happened, trying to hide what the real problem is from the American people is not going to solve the issue. It's going to make it worse. And you've heard me say that, and I just want to make another public announcement on that today. A little short of breath. Like I say, I'm a little under the weather. I also wanted to come on, and I'll put the links down below in the description box. Please look at them. I won't cover the details here. Scott Anthony has put out a great piece of information on the upcoming epidemic of the flu and how it will be used. We've been talking about this, along with the nanotech and the 5G, etc. So this is a very serious situation, and I think we're right on the brink of it. And he correctly brings that up right now, and it's good information. Now, I try to bring you things that you don't hear in other media, whether it's mainstream or alternative, and that's the case here. So again, I'll put the link down in the description box. Please look at it. It's very important information. Prep, pray, stay out of the way. All those things I've said. Have your, your situational awareness turned on all the time. Make sure you're taking your supplements, your nutrients. The thing that's going to drive this flu epidemic are the vaccines. Does that surprise anybody? Now, I plan on having a nurse practitioner on at some point. She's probably listening to this, who has been fighting the CDC and the entire thing with vaccines and the corruption in the medical establishment for a long time. She's even testified before the Arizona State Legislature about these things. So we'll have her on at some time in the future, but it won't be too long, but I just want to announce it so that you know that I'm going to go there about this, because that's how they're going to drive the epidemic. Do you understand? That's how they're going to do it. Okay. Tracy Beans, also, I want you to look at her stuff. This is great. These people, these two guys, I'm amazed by them. Tracy Beans is starting to delve more. She did a lot of research into MK Ultra and all of that, and the Satan worshiper who was in the military, now General Michael Aquino. He's retired at this point, but he was a well-known Satanist, and the military, the DoD, and the government accepted him, but of course made Christians domestic terrorists, essentially in FBI manuals and DoD manuals and training programs, etc. If anybody wants to go after people that are a problem in this country, they got to stop bothering good patriot Americans who have proven it in a track record and go after people, or maybe not go after them, but expose people like Aquino and what's really going on. And so Tracy Beans is starting that because Satanism has now become a big thing. I'm going to talk about something else on that in just a minute. Tracy Beans is covering MK Ultra and this Satanist thing and who actually started this. It was General Michael Aquino. And in conjunction with the CIA. And her information is absolutely going to blow everybody's mind. Now, she says once you see this material, you can never go back. It's going to affect you. And she's absolutely right. Because you'll see how wicked, how evil, not even wicked, it's evil. The evil that's being done to people and why these mass shootings occur, combined with the use of pharmaceutical drugs, etc., which are the real problems, not the weapons themselves, of course. So that link will be down below too. She's just starting the information, but I want you to see what is available. Most of this is on Twitter right now, which is why I'm bringing it to my YouTube audience, because I don't know if you cross over to Twitter, and I just want you to know these things are going on with the information that I use Twitter for. Okay. All right. I also wanted to bring up real quick, there is a situation that I saw just this morning. James Munder presented it, and a lot of other people have talked about it, and it's this situation with this thing called the Cannibal Club in LA, and apparently it has sister organizations in New York and elsewhere. I just want to tell you, I don't think it's real. Eating human flesh, consuming human tissue, blood, etc., is a ritualistic, satanic, Luciferian, elitist ritual. And I just don't believe, I could be wrong, but I just don't believe that they would turn it into, a retail restaurant establishment, closed club society or not. I find that hard to fathom, especially when I looked at the website. James Munder did a great job on exposing it, but when I look at it, it doesn't feel right. Do you know what I mean? You can go look at it, just Google Cannibal Club LA, and you'll get the information. Supposedly, some high-name people are members of it. However, others have done some research and can't substantiate, like the proprietors and those types of things, the CEOs and all of that. They can't find real hard information to verify that. What this could be is nothing more than a beta test to see what happens. Make no mistake about it. Along with pedophilia, the trafficking in human organs, adrenochrome for the elites trying to the fountain of youth, so to speak, and cannibalism. Those things are really going on in the ritualistic satanic communities. Absolutely, 100%. It's terribly evil, and it's permeating our entire society. We even see the Illuminati things, and there's a good Illuminati and a bad. That Satan always copies what God does and then perverts it. And I'm not going to go there today. I've talked about it before. But the fact of the matter is that these things are real. And this restaurant thing coming out like this, I'm not saying they wouldn't pervert the rest of society by having us eat human flesh. There was something that came out some years ago that human placenta, and tissue was being placed in soft drinks to sweeten it, in foods. I'm not going to mention companies because I don't have the actual information in front of me, and I don't want to accuse anybody of that, but that information has been out there, and don't kid yourself. These things have happened because that's how they pervert and pollute society, is by doing these things unbeknownst to us, tricking us into doing it. So, this restaurant thing might, like I say, be a beta test. See how it's received or whatever. Where do they get the human flesh? I thought, it was against the law, at least in most states, to desecrate a human body. But with the way the laws are going, they want to allow pedophilia, killing children, aborting children up to 3 years of age, and people are saying that's hogwash. No, they even talked about it in California, Florida. Anyway, a lot of bad things happening. So I'm going to end it there. Just be aware that these things are being discussed, and it's a way to give you normalcy bias, okay, to make it normal, all right? Or to ignore it, cognitive dissonance. You're aware of it, but it doesn't affect you. You think. Not true. All of these things affect all of us spiritually, if no other way. Okay? And I'll just leave it there. Like I said, I'm a little under the weather. I just wanted to make contact with everybody today. Have the people of the United States, have Americans accepted the pouring out of the Spirit of God upon us that will change our heart and minds. We made some headway, but I'm starting to see it slip, and that worries me. And so I wanted to say that up front. We must all increase our efforts to do the righteous thing, the right use of something. Not everything is wrong that we've been told, and not everything is right that we've been told. What's legal isn't necessarily moral or correct. All right? What's illegal isn't necessarily immoral or incorrect. We've been deceived, ladies and gentlemen, from start to finish. Scientific accomplishments that are not true, that they've lied to us about, so that they could keep us in the dark, steal our money, steal our minds. Make sure that you employ your own heart and your own mind and use your own reason and logic with prayer, with meditation, with consideration, everything that you see. Look at the path and choose the one that gives the fruits of abundance, of progression. And I don't mean progressive like the political progressives. I mean that you go forward, that you're not taking steps back. The worship of Moloch in our society is rampant. It is absolutely rampant. Substitution for the word Luciferian, it's basically the same thing. Okay? So we're in a lot of trouble. We're not out of the dark. They're ramping up their efforts. And as I've called for a long time, Trump must, in some way, I saw a thing from Stuart Webb and Tom Hennigan, who I don't follow, by the way, but I get some of their information that supposedly Trump is using the military to investigate the Florida shootings. Well, I'm from Missouri now. I won't believe it until I see it. I won't believe it until I see real activity, until I see somebody in handcuffs. I'm not going to believe any of this stuff until I see proof. We're at that point where the faith, as I've said, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things unseen. In other words, we're at that faith position, but faith can be faulty. The scriptures even say that. Hope can be faulty. What is the only thing that always proves true? Charity. Faith may fail, hope may fail, but charity always succeeds. So keep that love in your heart. Know what is right and wrong. It's not that difficult. Little things don't matter. It's everybody makes mistakes and little things. Those little things aren't really sins. Okay, sin means falling short of the mark. But going forward and doing evil things to people, that's a whole nother set of circumstances. And it doesn't equate with your little everyday getting upset, saying a cuss word, those kinds of things, okay? It's not that. And God's not after you. That's a matter of maturity. It's not talking about evil, okay? When you talk about that. Real evil is what we're seeing in the world. Pedophilia, wars, stealing resources, human trafficking, all of that. Those are the true evils. Murder, stealing people's land like what they were trying to do the Bundys and the Hammonds in Oregon, and have succeeded by and large in one way or another. Your government is not your friend. Trump might be trying to clean it out, but the evil in there is entrenched deep. Does that mean he can't act because he's outnumbered? No. In my estimation, it's just the opposite. He must act. And the longer, I've heard all the arguments, okay? Maybe this is a point of disagreement. Don't call people names because of disagreement. He cannot, in my estimation, wait much longer to actually effect this. Is it going to be bad? Is it going to cause troubles? Yes. But there's no way around it at this point. There isn't. Do I know more than Trump? No, not at all. But, you know, my training is significantly different than his. All right. That's all for today. And I want to thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. You know, as I've said before, I don't want to call it support because I'm not here to ask for support. You know, I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for anything like that. I only want you to open your eyes and ears. And most of you are. Most of you are very awake. But refine what you're looking at. Become more meticulous in your ability to divide the good from the evil and to have the spirit of discernment. The spirit of discernment is actually a gift, but everybody has it to some extent. So just cultivate that, and let's get ready for what's coming. Prep, pray, and stay out of the way. Revelation said this, despite all of our efforts. Is it? Well, let me quote it. And the beast made war with the saints and prevailed. Can we stop it? Can we turn it around? On a worldwide scale, I don't know. I don't think so. On a local scale, in places of refuge, where God reigns in the people's hearts and minds, yeah, maybe. Okay? Okay, that's all for today. God bless you. God bless the Constitutional Republic of the United States of America and the restoration of the American Republic, along with the Second American Revolution. And may God bless President Donald Trump in all of his righteous endeavors.